Welcome back, coders, to another quick video. Today we're looking back at Cyberpunk 2077 with the 1.5 next gen patch on Xbox Series X. Today what we're looking at is an update to my settings guide from when this game first launched to see what we can do to take a very good upgrade and make it that much better looking to make your experience really feel like that next gen experience. So we're going to be talking about a couple of graphical features as well as a couple options in the settings to see how we can calibrate your screen to look as good as physically possible. So just as a little heads up, I am on a 1440p 120 hertz display by Acer. So I am building that based upon that screen, not necessarily your screen. So there will be some variation here, but there are a couple constant tenets that you can go by that will hopefully guide you to the perfect image for this game, which is key. So first things first, I picked a bad day to show this off, but we're gonna go ahead and go along with it to see what it is. But I got this nice vista so we can see a little bit of things from a couple different angles. Hopefully it doesn't rain the whole time, because a lot of this is based upon lighting. But either way, let's go ahead, take a look at our settings menu to show you some of the things that we can change that are simple, fast, and will make a major difference. The first things that you can make a huge difference with is actually gamma correction. So one thing I'm going to show you before I dive into that by clicking the left stick is I'm going to show you what the ray tracing looks like. And you'll notice immediately, at least I notice immediately, that there is a darkness, like a darkness to this image. And not just like a universally, this is a darker image. It's that the shaded areas are more intensely shaded and more realistically shaded. Indoors, it's even more pronounced, but outdoors you can definitely see there's a little bit of a darkness to this tone of the scene. So what we're going to try to do is emulate that, because I think the ray tracing mode looks better for sure, but it's not really worth it at 30 FPS. So let's go ahead and switch ourselves back to performance. And again, just a quick image. You can see it looks flatter. We're going to go back and we're going to click into gamma correction with the left stick. And we're going to go over here, which starts and defaults at a 1. We're going to bring it up to 1.25 is my recommendation. I'd say at least start with 1.2, see what that looks like, and if you don't like it, then you can go back. Right away we can see a dramatically more pleasing image just because that was able to like tone down what I think are over bright scenes in Cyberpunk. It definitely will make your visibility a little worse just in terms of gameplay, but I think it's worth it for the trade-off, which is it makes it feel closer to that ray tracing mode, which is super great. River, not right now, buddy. That's the first setting that I'm going to recommend we change. The second setting to make this feel even better is to come into our graphics tab, not our video tab, graphics tab, and come and turn off some of these effects that are going to cause some problems. The first major one, film grain. We're not watching a movie, we're playing a video game. There's no need for that. Chromatic aberration. This is going to cause some blurriness, that red and blue kind of image on the sides that fringes out at the sides. Let's turn that off. It's going to make it blurrier. And then motion blur. This is an optional one, but I think if you're playing at 60, not really a need for it unless you really like that uber smooth look. And as you can see, just like that, we get a tremendously more clear image. We're running much closer to 4K on average, and in general, that darkness really helps things. And by getting rid of the film grain, we counteract any sort of over darkening that we may be causing by bringing that gamma down. So those are my major tips that are going to cause a much more close image to that ray tracing mode, because there are some cool things that you get with ray tracing. First thing I notice is whenever you switch back to ray tracing, there is like this weird thing that tends to happen, which is it seems to turn on all those effects that you just turned off by default. So if you want those effects off, and I might even include motion blur for ray tracing, make sure to double toggle that. So that's just a quick little tip that you'll see. The biggest difference between ray tracing and non-ray tracing though is going to be how the guns look and how faces look in close proximity. So let's see if we can get to an inside location real quick. I don't know if there's any nearby that we can hop into too easily, but we're gonna go ahead and try. It's not gonna hurt right here, which we might. Is there anywhere we can see an indoor image? This is the gun that I would definitely be looking at in terms of the improvement. Of course, we have a day where we don't have any sun, but you can see right away the ray tracing definitely improves some of the shading there as well as giving these local shadows that are much more realistic on the gun, if you're looking at these like spotlights like this, which really I think adds to the presentation of what the visuals are. If we switch back, they do have some of that, but I think it's much less precise, and it causes a little bit more of like a, oh, this is a video game look. It still looks good, but it doesn't look as good. Either way though, our visual changes have closed that gap, and I think overall this is the perfect way to play, which is with those visual settings changed on the 60 FPS mode, so that we're getting the best of both worlds. I really am impressed with this update. I hope you guys have been too. Been having a ton of fun with it. Let's see one more thing. Can we skip some time and try to get back to the next day? Maybe we'll get a little bit more bright sunlight. That would be really nice. Nope. We're still seeing that foggy shit, and I'm dying, apparently. Apparently, the more days I go, the less I survive. Super promising. Maybe if we get in a car and just drive out to the outskirts, we'll have some more luck. Either way, I hope you guys have had I've enjoyed this video and have had a really good time with this update. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what you think that update has done for you. Are you going to finish the game? Are you going to play through the rest of the time and see this game through? Or is it one of those things where it's too far gone? We've waited too long for that update and it's not worth it. Thank you again. Make sure to subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications, like the video if you like what you see, and as always, stay classy, coders.